God wants to hear you. Come, come.
Father, as we enter this quiet moment with you, let the weight of every distraction fall softly to the ground, so the heart can finally breathe again, because deep inside each of us there is a longing not for treasures that fade, but for the richness no vault can hold, the kind that settles into the soul and steadies what life has shaken. And as we draw near, something in us whispers that what we truly seek isn't measured in coins or counted in possessions, but felt in the warm certainty that you have never left our side, even when we walked through seasons where everything we tried to grasp slipped between our fingers like sand. And in this gentle stillness where you meet us, let your presence speak louder than our fears. And if someone listening now feels a quiet pull to come closer, let them follow that tender nudge of your spirit, because here begins the journey toward a prosperity that transforms from within, shaping the heart before it ever touches the hands. Lord, as this journey unfolds, we begin to understand that true prosperity is not the applause of the world, nor the accumulation of things that sparkle for a moment and turn to dust the next, but the quiet miracle of a heart strengthened by your peace, a mind guided by your wisdom, and a soul anchored in a purpose that no circumstance can steal. And when we look back, we see how many times we chased what looked valuable but left us empty, while the riches you offered, rest, clarity, courage, belonging, waited patiently for the moment we would seek you instead of seeking control. And now, in this sacred pause where our spirit leans toward you, let a soft warmth rise within whoever is listening, almost like a whisper saying, "You are safe here." And if their heart feels gently moved to surrender a little more, let them respond to that emotion, because in this place, you begin to rebuild what life tried to break, forming within us a prosperity that endures storms and shines even in the dark. Father, as we continue before you, let every soul realize that the greatest wealth is not the abundance we hold, but the assurance that we are held by you. Because what truly enriches a life is the certainty that your hands steady our steps when our strength collapses, and your love fills the quiet spaces where fear once lived. And while the world teaches us to measure success by what we gain, you teach us to measure it by who we become in your presence, shaped not by pressure, but by grace, not by hurry, but by divine alignment. And in this tender atmosphere where our hearts begin to soften, allow a subtle stirring to awaken inside the listener, almost like a gentle tug saying, "Let me guide you." And if their spirit feels that warmth, let them lean into it, because each time they turn their gaze toward you, something deep inside begins to prosper. Peace grows roots. Hope lifts its head again, and the soul remembers that it was never meant to live empty when you are the source of all that truly satisfies. Lord, as we walk further into this sacred stillness, allow us to release the narrow idea that prosperity is something we must chase or earn, because you show us that it first blooms in the unseen soil of the heart, where humility, gratitude, and trust take root, transforming the soul long before transforming the circumstances around us. And in this quiet light that only your presence can create, we start to notice how the true riches you offer, peace that steadies trembling thoughts, clarity that replaces confusion, courage that rises softly in moments of weakness, are far greater than anything we once believed could satisfy. And now, as this divine warmth settles like a gentle embrace around whoever listens, let a faint stirring awaken inside them, almost like a whisper urging them to place every anxious piece of their life into your hands. And if their spirit feels that subtle invitation drawing them closer, let them follow it without fear, because here, in the shelter of your love, you begin shaping a prosperity that no storm can erase, no failure can diminish, and no darkness can ever steal away from the depths of a surrendered heart. Father, as we continue in this deep and gentle communion with you, let every heart understand that real prosperity is not an achievement, but a condition of the soul, that learns to breathe in your presence. Because when you are near, the fears that once ruled our decisions begin to lose their power, and hope slowly stretches itself awake within us like morning light touching the horizon, revealing that the richest moments of life are often wrapped in simplicity, quiet assurance, steady faith, restored identity, and the unshakable truth that we are loved beyond measure. And now, as this sacred calm settles over the listener like a soft blanket over weary shoulders, let a warm stirring rise inside them, an emotional pull that gently urges them to open their hearts a little wider to you. And if they feel that tender movement drawing them closer, let them yield to it without hesitation, because each step they take toward your presence becomes a seed of prosperity planted in the spirit, growing into a life that shines from the inside out, untouched by the limitations of the world, and strengthened by the treasures only heaven can give. Lord, as we linger in this sacred flow of your presence, teach us to see that true prosperity is woven not from what we accumulate, but from what you awaken within us. Resilience where there was once fear, gratitude where there was once disappointment, purpose where there was once confusion, and a gentle courage that rises quietly in the chambers of the heart, reminding us that we are never walking alone. And as your light touches the hidden corners of our soul, we begin to recognize that the richest parts of life are not loud or flashy, but tender and enduring, held together by the steady strength of your love that never falters, even when our own strength fades. And now, in this deep stillness, where the listener's spirit begins to breathe more freely, let a subtle warmth stir within them, a gentle emotional pull inviting them to rest their burdens in your hands. And if they feel that soft nudge drawing them near, let them follow it with trust, because every moment spent in surrender becomes a doorway to a prosperity rooted not in possessions, but in peace, identity, healing, and the unshakable assurance that they belong to you. Father, as we move deeper into this intimate place with you, reveal to our hearts that the richness you offer is not something fragile or temporary, but a steady river that flows even in seasons when everything else seems dry. Because the prosperity of the soul does not depend on perfect circumstances, but on the quiet miracle of knowing that your presence fills the spaces where fear once tried to build its home. And when we pause long enough to listen, we begin to notice how you replace our restless striving with a calm assurance, how you trade our anxiety for direction, and how you whisper identity into the places where doubt once lived, reminding us that we are loved, chosen, and cared for beyond what words can hold. And now, as this gentle atmosphere wraps itself around whoever is listening like a warm embrace after a long journey, let a delicate pull awaken inside them, an emotional nudge urging them to lean closer into your heart. And if they feel that quiet stirring inviting them forward, let them surrender to it, because each step toward you enriches the soul with treasures no vault can contain, peace that lasts, hope that rebuilds, and a sense of purpose that reshapes the way we walk through the world. Lord, as this journey continues, let every heart recognize that the prosperity you give is not a reward for perfection, but a response to openness. Because when we stop pretending to be strong and finally allow you into the fragile rooms of our soul, something sacred begins to happen. The heaviness we carried quietly loosens its grip, the confusion that clouded our thoughts starts to clear, and the emptiness we tried to fill with noise or accomplishments is gently replaced by the steady warmth of your presence that asks for nothing but honesty. And in this tender moment where you draw near, we realize that true wealth is the ability to hear your whisper in the midst of chaos and feel your peace rising even when nothing around us changes yet. For the richness no vault can hold is formed from the inside outward, shaping us into people who walk with humility, gratitude, and a renewed sense of purpose. And now, as this soft stillness settles around the listener like a comforting hand upon their heart, let a quiet pull awaken within them, urging them to lean a little deeper into this moment with you. And if they feel that gentle invitation stirring, let them respond freely, because each surrender becomes a seed that grows into a prosperity rooted in your truth, your presence, and the unshakable certainty that we are deeply loved. Father, as we walk further into this unfolding sanctuary of your presence, let our hearts awaken to the truth that the prosperity you offer is not dependent on what we possess, but on who we are becoming in your hands. Because when you shape a life, you do not begin with the visible. You begin with the unseen foundations of trust, character, purpose, and identity, building within us a richness that cannot be shaken by loss, disappointment, or the shifting tides of circumstance. And as your gentleness settles like a soft breeze over weary emotions, we begin to notice how you transform our inner landscape. Where there was once fear, you plant courage. Where there was once confusion, you lay down clarity. Where there was once emptiness, you breathe meaning, reminding us that your presence is the greatest treasure we will ever carry. And right here, in this tender nearness, where the listener's heart begins to rest, let a warm pull rise within them, an emotional whisper drawing them to trust you more deeply. And if they sense that quiet invitation stirring inside, let them lean into it without holding back, because every moment spent turning toward you becomes another layer of prosperity woven into the soul, a richness untouched by time, untouched by circumstance, untouched by anything this world could ever give or take away. Lord, as we continue in this sacred unfolding, help us understand that the prosperity you cultivate within us is a slow and gentle work, like dawn rising over a quiet landscape, not rushed, not forced, but steady and faithful, shaping us in ways we often only recognize later, when we look back and see how your hand strengthened us in hidden places. And as we walk this path with you, we begin to realize that the richest moments of our journey are not the ones filled with outward success, but the ones where we felt your presence close enough to steady trembling thoughts, close enough to quiet storms the world could not see, close enough to remind us that we are never abandoned. And now, in this soft and reverent stillness where the listener's heart grows more open, let a gentle warmth rise inside them, an emotional pull that feels like a quiet whisper inviting them to trust you with the uncertainties they have been carrying. And if they sense that tender invitation stirring in their spirit, let them move toward it with confidence, because every step taken in your direction enriches the soul with treasures that endure, peace that can weather any night, purpose that guides every decision, and a deep inner strength that no vault on earth could ever hold or contain. Father, as we journey even deeper into this tender communion with you, reveal to us that true prosperity is found not in securing a life free from struggle, but in discovering a strength within the struggle that comes only from your hand, a quiet resilience that grows when we choose to trust you even when the path feels uncertain. And in these sacred moments where your presence rests gently upon us, we begin to perceive how the treasures you give, the peace that settles restless thoughts, the wisdom that redirects our steps, the hope that rises softly after disappointment, are far richer than anything the world calls success, because they reshape us at the core of who we are. And now, as this warm stillness surrounds the listener like a calm breath after a long day, let a subtle stirring awaken in their heart, a gentle emotional pull inviting them to release whatever they have been holding too tightly. And if they sense that tender invitation drawing them near, let them surrender to it with trust, because each moment they place in your hands deepens a prosperity that cannot be lost, cannot be stolen, and cannot be diminished by anything the world could ever take away. Lord, as this sacred devotion unfolds further, allow our hearts to grasp that the prosperity you give is not built in the absence of challenges, but in the assurance that you walk with us through each one, turning what once felt like obstacles into stepping stones toward growth, healing, and deeper faith. And as your presence settles over us like a gentle covering, we begin to understand that the richest blessings are often the ones that quietly reshape our inner world. Peace that softens what worry once hardened, compassion that emerges from places we thought were empty, and a sense of purpose that rises like steady light after a long night. And now, in this warm and tender stillness where the listener feels seen, comforted, and understood, let a gentle pull awaken in their soul, an emotional whisper urging them to lay down the burdens they were never meant to carry alone. And if they feel that subtle invitation stirring within, let them respond with openness, because every burden surrendered becomes a seed of prosperity planted in the heart, growing into strength, clarity, and a richness no vault could ever guard or contain. Father, as we step further into this deep, unfolding sanctuary of your presence, help us recognize that the prosperity you pour into our lives is not something we strive to earn, but something we become as you shape us from within, teaching us to live with open hands, grounded hearts, and a spirit that knows where its true home is. And as your gentle light touches the most fragile corners of our being, we begin to see how every moment of surrender becomes a doorway to transformation. Fear loosening its grip, bitterness melting into forgiveness, and the emptiness we tried to fill with lesser things being slowly replaced by the fullness that only your love can bring. And now, in this sacred warmth surrounding the listener like a soft embrace that reaches deeper than words, let a tender stirring rise inside them, an emotional pull inviting them to trust you more completely, even with the places they've kept guarded for so long. And if they sense that quiet invitation breathing within their soul, let them lean into it with courage, because every step toward you enriches their being with a lasting treasure, purpose awakened, identity restored, and a richness that grows brighter with every breath drawn in your presence. Lord, as we continue walking through this sacred unfolding with you, reveal to us that true prosperity is experienced not when life becomes easy, but when our inner world becomes anchored, secured by the unshakable truth that your love holds every moment, every breath, every hope that rises within us. And when we allow this truth to settle deep into our spirit, we begin to see that the greatest riches are not found in what we can store away, but in what you awaken inside us. Peace that steadies anxious thoughts, joy that grows even in quiet seasons, and a strength that does not depend on circumstances but on your faithfulness. And now, in this soft and holy stillness where the listener's heart begins to rest more freely, let a gentle warmth stir within them, a tender emotional pull inviting them to open one more room of their soul to you. And if they feel that quiet invitation drawing them deeper, let them respond with trust, because each moment surrendered becomes another layer of eternal richness woven into their spirit, blessings that cannot rust, fade, or be taken away, treasures held safely in the hands of the one who calls them beloved. Father, as we enter yet another breath of this sacred journey with you, teach us to recognize that the prosperity you offer is not measured by how much we gather, but by how deeply we are transformed. Because when your presence becomes the foundation of our lives, everything else finds its place. Worries loosen their grip, doubts lose their voice, and the heaviness we carried for so long begins to lift like fog under the rising sun. And as you move gently through the quiet places of our soul, we start to understand that the richest blessings are not loud or dramatic, but subtle, steady, and profoundly restorative, shaping us into people who walk with humility, resilience, and an unshakable awareness that we are held by a love far greater than anything the world could offer. And now, in this warm and peaceful stillness surrounding the listener like a soft hand resting over their heart, let a tender stirring awaken inside them, an emotional pull inviting them to trust you with one more fear, one more dream, one more hidden ache. And if they feel that gentle invitation rising within their spirit, let them step toward it with courage, because each surrender becomes another thread of divine richness woven into their being, a treasure that grows brighter with every moment spent in your presence. Lord, as we draw even deeper into this tender and transformative communion with you, remind us that the prosperity you cultivate is not a fleeting moment of abundance, but a lifelong unfolding of grace that teaches us to walk with open hearts, steady faith, and a quiet confidence that your presence sustains us in every season. And as we pause long enough to feel the softness of your nearness, we begin to see how the treasures you give, the calm that settles our storms, the clarity that gently redirects our path, the hope that rises like light through shadows, shape us from within, creating a richness that circumstances cannot diminish. And now, in this holy calm wrapping itself around the listener like a warm mantle after a long night, let a subtle pull awaken within them, an emotional whisper inviting them to surrender one more layer of their fear, their uncertainty, or their longing into your loving hands. And if they sense that tender invitation stirring softly in their soul, let them follow it without hesitation, because each moment they yield to you deepens a prosperity that cannot rust, cannot fade, and cannot be taken, a treasure woven into the spirit by the one who knows them, holds them, and calls them his own. Father, as we approach the final stretch of this sacred journey with you, allow our hearts to understand that the prosperity you give is not merely an inner richness, but a way of living that transforms how we see the world, how we love, how we forgive, and how we carry the light you place within us. For when your presence becomes our treasure, we begin to walk differently, less burdened by what we lack, more anchored in what cannot be taken, and deeply aware that every breath, every step, every moment is held by your unwavering grace. And as your gentle nearness surrounds us now like a warm tide rising softly around weary feet, let the listener feel a tender stirring inside their soul, an emotional invitation drawing them to place their story, their desires, and their uncertainties fully into your hands. And if they sense that quiet pull awakening within them, let them yield to it with trust, because every surrender becomes another beam of eternal richness shining through their life, a treasure far greater than anything this world could offer or ever contain. Lord, as we step into this final breath of our devotion, gather every word, every whisper, every quiet surrender that has risen from our hearts, and weave them into a deep understanding that the greatest prosperity we will ever know is found in being fully yours, held, guided, strengthened, and restored by a love that does not waver with seasons or slip away with time. And as your presence settles over us like a gentle sunset touching the edges of a quiet sea, remind us that the treasures you give, peace that anchors, hope that rebuilds, joy that renews, and purpose that awakens, are riches untouched by loss or limitation, flowing from a kingdom that never runs dry. And now, in this holy stillness surrounding the listener like a soft embrace, let a tender stirring rise within them, an emotional whisper inviting them to let your love fill every empty place. And if they sense that gentle invitation calling them deeper, let them rest in it, because here, in your presence, the soul discovers its truest wealth and its everlasting home. And now, Father, let your blessing rest upon every heart. May your peace guard their steps. May your light guide their path. And may your love be the unshakable treasure they carry through every season of life. Amen.
Breathe for a moment. God is here. He wants to hear you. If this touched your heart, subscribe for more.